Welcome to the Wing Space podcast, a place to take up space, a space for you to settle in, sit back, relax, and focus a little bit on health, wellness, faith, family, and this crazy thing called life.
This podcast is not a replacement for mental health treatment or professional health care. In case of crisis or emergency, please contact your local healthcare provider or dial 911.
Hey there, and welcome to the Wing Space podcast, a place to take up space. In today's episode, we are going to jump into preparing for holiday madness, part 2. So in our previous episode, we talked about kind of what to do now, or what to do then, 6-8 weeks before the holiday madness starts. So make sure you go back and listen to episode 14 for the first part of this conversation. In an episode to come, we're going to be talking about some healthy habits to take you into the holidays with our nutritionist Tracy Pritchard, and then we're also going to talk a little bit about some random habits that might be helpful to start not only going into the holidays, but as we start a new year. So we'll dive more into that kind of stuff. So I just want to jump back into this like preparation mode, right? So you're going to hear this episode sometime around the middle part of November. So at that point, I'm recording this in October. I'll be totally honest. I have fall decorations out. I haven't yet put Halloween decorations out. I'm feeling a little behind, quite frankly. However, I'm giving myself some grace that it's okay that I just have gourds and not jack-o'-lanterns out quite yet. It'll come. But for many of us, by the time we get to Thanksgiving, we already feel like we're behind for Christmas. And I want to give you some helpful tips for not feeling behind. So the first thing you're going to do is go listen to that first part of the episode, or I should say the first episode of this little series about holiday madness, and catch yourself up. You got like 30 minutes. I know you can listen to it, get some ideas. So here we are, mid-November. Thanksgiving's around the corner. By the time Thanksgiving comes, Christmas is here, then it's New Year's. Hello, 2020. The first thing for today that I want to say to you is stop. Stop with the expectations that are unattainable. Stop with the comparison from one family to another, one mom to another, one celebration to another, one house decor to another. Stop. You do what works for you. What brings you joy? Do that. What is within your capabilities? Do that. So in that previous episode, I shared with you the idea of, Christmas card lists and family photos and getting a gift list together and creating a budget. All of those are great ideas. But you might be a person that says, yeah, we don't do family photos. Great. There is no expectation. There is nothing written in stone that says that you have to. Yeah, we don't send Christmas cards. Great. It's fine. If you want to be a person that sends Christmas cards, maybe you send Christmas cards. Hey, maybe you send Christmas text messages. Or maybe I've seen it before, you create a digital card online and you post it on social media and say, Merry Christmas, right? But I would encourage you to not be a person that takes family photos and send Christmas cards because, quote, everyone else is doing it. Because who cares about everyone else? You do what works for you and for your family, for your budget, for your schedule, and for who you are, right? So as I share with you the things that you might do, you might say, yeah, that's not going to work for me. Okay, great. You do what works for you, but my hope is that just a couple of ideas can be helpful. So again, the last time, we talked about this, we talked about kind of getting your budget together, getting your list together, kind of figuring out what your travel plans are, what decor do you need. I was talking to somebody the other day and they are, diving into Christmas decor in terms of getting ready, and I'm just not there. And I'm okay with that because for me, I have to have one holiday before I can decorate for the next. So, Christmas gets December, but the turkey gets November and the jack-o'-lantern gets October, and the leaves and gourds get September. So that's kind of where I am for the fall into winter. And you do what works for you. You might not decorate at all. Great. You might put up a Christmas tree and that's it. Great. But do you have a plan, right, for when that tree is going to go up, when we're going to decorate? Looking at the calendar and seeing what comes is really, really important. I may have said this before in that previous episode, but like we have something to do every single weekend in the month of October, and I didn't actually plan it that way. It just kind of happened. And now I'm looking into November and it's like, ooh, yikes. That's a lot of time that is occupied, which means I might have to pick a random Sunday afternoon to do some Christmas shopping, or leave work and go Christmas shopping, because it just might not happen. As we look ahead, we're going to say, okay, what do holiday plans look like? Christmas Eve is a Tuesday, Christmas Day is a Wednesday, it's kind of in the middle of the week. Might make traveling hard, especially if you have to work Monday or if you have to go back to work Thursday. So looking ahead and getting a plan in place. Last night I called my family downstairs. We have one of two homecomings this coming weekend. And so I needed to give a game plan to the family, but I just wanted to say it once. So everybody was on the same page and they heard the same message. So I was like, all right, quick family meeting. Everybody, let's listen to this. Let's have a conversation about it. And you might need to do that. So everyone knows what the expectations are, because the last thing you want is that you expect to, build gingerbread houses on the Saturday before Christmas, and you have this plan in your mind, and then your kids make plans with their friends, or your spouse decides that it's going to be, couples night at the neighbors or something. If you want to, because you've created a bucket list, I'm turning you all into bucket listers, I know. You want to go look at Christmas lights, you want to drink hot chocolate and watch holiday movies, you want to build gingerbread houses, you want to bake Christmas cookies, fill in the blank, whatever. You have to tell the people around you who you want to include in that plan that those are the things that you want to do. Because otherwise they're going to have their own expectations, and then those expectations are not going to match, and people are going to be left disappointed. So as you, like I said, you're listening to this episode middle of November, so Thanksgiving's right around the corner. Maybe start thinking about what you might need for holiday decorations. Black Friday is coming up. Lots of sales, Thanksgiving week into the weekend. If you have not done this next thing in the past, I'm going to encourage you to do it this year. I have before, when I have put my holiday decorations away, made a list and put it in my phone or on my calendar for things that I need to buy for next year. Sometimes I'm able to grab those things in after Christmas sales, but sometimes I don't do after Christmas sales, and I forget. So what I encourage you to do is put a note on your phone or on your calendar now for whenever the time frame is that you typically put Christmas decorations away. And make a list of, what do I need? Do I need tissue paper? Do I need wrapping paper? Do I need boxes? Do I need new lights for the mantle? Fill in the blank, right? Need a couple of kitchen towels because the ones I had got messed up and got thrown away. Fill in the blank. So that as you're approaching this holiday season and the Christmas stuff starts going out and we see sales, you can start to get those decorations wrapped up. I would also encourage you, and this is not necessarily on the list, but I would encourage you to determine where your gift storage location is. Now, when my kids were younger, it was a hidden place for various reasons. Now that they are a little bit older, it's not so hidden, but it's put away. And it's funny, I came into our bedroom the other night and I was carrying a Walgreens bag or something, and there was some stuff in it, and my husband just started laughing. I was like, what are you laughing at? And he was like, I'm having flashbacks of when you're stashing Christmas gifts in our bedroom, because there's a spot in our space where we put things. So be thinking ahead. Where is that place that I'm going to store stuff as I buy it? Gifts, supplies, you might see paper plates and napkins and stuff on sale. So where are you going to store those things? What do you need? If you didn't make a list last year, What are the things that you need? Do you need wrapping paper? Do you need tissue paper? Do you need Scotch tape? The worst thing is to sit down. This is what I do. I sit down on a random night during the holiday season, might have a tasty beverage, got Hallmark movies on the TV, and I've got all of the stuff ready to be wrapped. And one year I sat down and had no tape. Seriously, no tape. So I want to plan ahead. I want to make sure that I have everything I need in order to be able to get that wrapping done, right? And if you have made your Christmas card list and had your photos taken, you want to be prepared to get those cards ordered. I have definitely been a person that has either ordered cards or sent cards, on December 23rd, because it just got away from me. But if we can begin to put these things on the calendar and plan ahead for them, we all have the same number of days before Christmas and the holiday season. We all have the same hours in a day, same days in a week, same calendar that we're looking at, but how we choose to fill the to-do list is different for all of us. Maybe you're going to be that person that says, this year I'm going to try just a smidge harder to accomplish XYZ, right? Soon it's going to be time for you to consider what sales are coming up. So if you've already created your gift list, who are the people I need to buy gifts for? Maybe jotted down some ideas of what you're going to buy for those people. As we approach that week before Thanksgiving, it's a really great time to look at Thanksgiving Day sales, Black Friday sales, Small Business Saturday sales, Cyber Monday sales. I cannot stress enough the importance of small businesses. Here's a plug for small businesses. We order on Amazon because it's convenient. We go to shopping malls because we can hit a lot of places at one time. I would encourage you and I would invite you on Small Business Saturday to find a small town where you live, near where you live. For me, it's usually the Leonardtown area because there's a lot of small businesses here. Go find some gifts there. Those small businesses, that money is going directly to the business owner's family and to their employees. There's no big overhead. There's no corporate anybody making money off of that, right? So consider what that looks like. And, maybe what we can do, I'm just thinking out loud, maybe what we can do is share some of what we know as we come up on Small Business Saturday in our local area about some things that are happening for people to be able to jump into that. And while I think about that, I want to take a quick break so you can hear about what's upcoming here at Hope and Healing, and we'll be right back.
Are you a yogi in Southern Maryland looking for a place to practice on Thursday mornings? Look no further than Gentle Yoga with Lori Bruce at Hope and Healing in Leonardtown. A certified yoga therapist, Lori brings over 2 decades of yoga training and teaching to her classes. Gentle Yoga with Lori is suitable for all levels. Join us in person or tune in from home, as all Thursday morning classes will be available virtually. Space is limited, so reserve your spot today at loribruceyoga.com/schedule.
Welcome back to the podcast. We're talking about how to prepare for the holiday madness. And we left off talking about Small Business Saturday and the importance of supporting small businesses in your local area. I have a friend who, not always, not every year, but we try to get together when we can on Small Business Saturday and hit some local events and grab some lunch and just hang out and spend some time together. And I would encourage you to consider to do the same thing, how you can support small businesses. If you are, switching gears a little bit, if you are a person who has family that live internationally, so away from where you are, just after Thanksgiving is probably a really great time to get those gifts in the mail. Even if you're shipping gifts domestically within the U.S., it's probably a really good idea to think ahead in terms of when to get those things in the mail so that you're not worrying about paying extra shipping to get it there on time and, having it be delayed or, heaven forbid it gets lost. So planning ahead. Gosh, this is the message for today, right? Plan ahead. We've already looked at our calendar. We've already seen what's going on in terms of events. Are you hosting an event? If you are, have you sent out the invitations? Do you know who's coming? Do you have an RSVP date set so that you can have a kind of that deadline of when I'm going to know who's coming? And little things like advent calendars. My kids are teenagers and they still love those chocolate advent calendars, but There's been years where we forgot to buy them, and then it's like, December 6th, and here they, I'm sure they don't care about eating 6 pieces of chocolate to catch up. But planning ahead, making sure that we get that, making sure that we get the supplies for the gingerbread house or for the cookies, the baking day, whatever it happens to be. I've been spending a lot of time in this episode and the previous episode talking about planning, events, to-do list items, etc. Here's the thing. I started this episode by inviting you to give yourself grace and to give yourself a little. What I would also encourage you to do is to enjoy the season, even if that means you have to plan it, even if that means you have to put it on the calendar. You've heard me talk about self-care before. You've heard me talk about putting it on the calendar as an appointment that you're not going to cancel on yourself. We need to do that too. You want to have a wrapping night where you're going to drink hot cocoa and watch Hallmark movies or vintage Christmas movies and wrap while you're doing it? Put it on the calendar. Let your family know. Thursday night, this is what I'm doing. You want to drive around and look at Christmas lights? Put it on the calendar. Make it something that is meaningful and fun and enjoyable rather than another thing we have to do. But the other thing that I want you to continue to include in your holiday season as you prepare for holiday madness is all of the things that I have encouraged you to do throughout the year. Morning routines, evening routines to set up your day for success and to close out the day for the next day. Healthy habits and routines, drinking plenty of water, eating whole foods, taking time to rest, moving your body. Remember that the 4 pillars that we always talk about don't go away during the holiday season. Feed, fuel, move, and rest your body. So continue to work out and go for walks and lift weights and go to your classes. Continue to try to get good rest. Continue to feed it's even more important, and you're going to hear it in an upcoming episode, it's even more important to feed and fuel your body well during the holidays because there's so many opportunities to indulge. And if we are feeding and fueling our body well, regularly, then those indulgences are not as impactful as they would be if we were not feeding and fueling our bodies well. So, if you're going to go on an all-day shopping, fuel yourself in the morning. Throw some snacks that are easily transportable in your bag. Not going to get too big into the nutrition stuff, but plan and prepare to take care of yourself while you are planning and preparing to take care of everyone else during the holiday season. Put a focus on being able to maintain and take care of yourself well so that you are full and complete and full of joy as you engage in those seasons. When you get to Thanksgiving, you can actually be grateful for things rather than just glad that it's over. When you get to the holiday Christmas season, you can actually feel the joy of the season. You can actually feel the spirit of the season rather than just, I can't wait until it's over, right? As you get to New Year's, you can actually be excited for the next year because you've got good things happening in your life and you're excited to see what the next year brings. So when we focus on our own health and wellness, feeding, fueling, moving our body, then we are well equipped to do all those other things that fill the schedule during the course of the holiday season. You all know as we get into December, it's like that's the sprint, right? That's when we've got to make sure the decorations are up. We got to clean the house. We got to, enjoy. We got to do those Christmas activities, but even more so, we have to enjoy them, right? What are we going to do Christmas Day? How's that day going to look? What's Christmas Eve look like? What's New Year's Eve look like? Is there another day during the year that the month that you celebrate with your family, right? What does that all look like? And then you have to do it. And that's where the important thing is, to be present, to be engaged, to be mindful of the moment that you're in, to enjoy that moment. I didn't really realize the importance of enjoying the moment until the year that my dad passed away. And he, as you some of our listeners know, he passed away on December 23rd of 2022. And the week before that, we had our family Christmas, which that's kind of a long story as to why we had it then and not Christmas Eve. But, I felt it in my heart to do it the week before Christmas. instead of doing it on Christmas Eve. Just had this idea, and I believe it was God's way of telling me, like, do it sooner. And we had such a good time that day. And we wore ugly sweaters and we played silly games. And, we had such a good time that day. And we were all very present in that day. Whereas previously, when we did it on Christmas Eve, it was like, okay, let's have dinner. We got to clean up for dinner. We got to go to church. We got to come home. We got to eat dessert. We got to open presents, and then we got to leave to go home. And it was a wonderful evening, but it always felt that we were ready for the next thing rather than being mindful of the current thing we were doing. And that year, in 2022, when we had that holiday celebration the week before Christmas, I feel like it gave us an opportunity to be present with each other for that day. And we didn't know that that was going to be the last day that our family was going to be together with my dad. So what a blessing that was. And now I realize, almost 2 years later, that being mindful and aware of what this moment is all about is really, really important, rather than being in this moment but totally focused on what's the next thing that I have to do, what's the next thing that I have to accomplish, what's the next thing that I have to plan for and prepare for, right? So be present, be mindful, smell the smells, eat the yummy goodies, listen to the music, get hugs from your family, right? Engage in that sensory experience throughout this season. And things change, right? We have the apple spice pumpkin pie battle that goes on over September, October into November, and then it turns into more of like, are you a gingerbread or peppermint person, right? So that changes, but enjoy it and allow yourself an opportunity to experience it. And don't be so hard on yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. I would love to hear how you plan and prepare for your holidays, how you engage and be mindful in your holidays. So as always, feel free to drop me an email, jennifer@hopehealingtherapy.com. You can always send us a message on our DMs on our socials. And, we'd all also love to hear what ideas you would have for our next season, right? So as we approach the holidays, we know we're coming to the end of season 4 for the for the Wing Space podcast, and we're planning and preparing for what season 5 looks like, and we'd love to have your ideas. So feel free to send those to us as well, so we can make this podcast meaningful for you. So I hope that you have a wonderful day. Thanks for listening.